I am losing my freaking mind about what just happened this last week in Destiny. And let me tell you, I spiraled down a big rabbit hole. And if you don't know me personally, I'm not just into Destiny fashion. In the background, I'm also really into Destiny lore. We can all agree that the final cutscene of the season was amazing, but there is something that almost topped it, and that was two words. Two words that the Destiny community has been waiting to hear since the beginning of Destiny, since before Destiny was even a game. The Veil. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, let me replay what Rasputin's last words to us were.
The Neptunian city in Osiris's vision is real. I do not know its exact location, but it is home to the Veil, an object of immense paracausal power, one that is linked to the Traveler.
I almost my pants. I could not believe that we finally got a reference in game to the Veil. So before we talk about what the Veil is, I want to point out that there has been another reference to the Veil, but it hasn't been in game. The Veil were actually supposed to be a separate enemy race that we were supposed to fight later on in Destiny's lifetime. And all of you have probably already seen this concept art of what they were supposed to look like. Today, we are mostly staying away from that bit of concept art, and I'll explain this later. But first, let's talk about what we do know about the Veil. We know that it is an object, it isn't a person, and it isn't an army. We know the object is also paracausal, so that means fun space magic that doesn't play by the Destiny universe's rules. Some known examples of what is paracausal in the Destiny universe are the Traveler, the Light, the Dark, I believe the Witness, although I could be wrong about that, us, and even good old Starhorse.
Don't flirt with him.
I'm not going to... King Hell.
And we also know that it is linked to the Traveler, not the Light. Rasputin specifically singled out the Traveler. And finally, we also know that it is on Neomuna. Okay, well, you may have already known all of that information, but here is something you may not have known. One, it's really implied that the Witness wants the Veil. Otherwise, why is he going to Neomuna? Now, you may also be thinking, but isn't he just trying to destroy everything in our universe and that's really it? No, actually, because if we go to the interactive trailer that Bungie released, I'll have that linked down below, by the way. In that trailer, you can find this image. If the Witness is taking an interest in a secret colony on Neptune, something truly powerful must be hidden there. Could this be what the mysterious Cloud Striders are protecting? Could a Golden Age city possibly hold the key to stopping the Witness and ending the war that begun generations ago? This is big. One, it tells us that the Witness is scared of whatever is in Neomuna, and Rasputin already told us what's there. The Veil. Other than the city itself, what else could the Cloud Striders be protecting that's in that city? Unless they're protecting something that is also protecting the city, which could also be the Veil. Let's take the word veil very literally here. A veil is basically like a piece of cloth that covers something. And why did Neomuna stay hidden? Even stay hidden from the Witness itself and the Witness's disciples that came down to destroy humanity. Now, you may be thinking to yourself right now, Muffin, that's really stupid. Why would the Witness want some dumb invisibility cloak? But that's the thing. It's not just some really protective paracausal invisibility cloak. It's more than that. A veil has three immediate definitions. A length of cloth worn over the head, shoulders, and often the face, especially by a woman. Definition 2. a length of netting attached to a woman's hat or habit, worn for decoration or to protect the head and face. The third definition we can ignore. That has to do with bees.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Now, I read those definitions and it kept mentioning a woman. It always said, especially a woman. Where have we seen a veiled woman before? Definitely not in your bed, am I right?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We've seen the veiled woman in 3 places. 1, the darkness pyramid on the moon. 2, in the middle of the Deepstone Crypt raid. And 3, at the end of the Garden of Salvation raid. And this is where things start to get interesting. This is how we figure out what the veil is. Going back to Beyond Light and the Deepstone Crypt raid, we find out that Clovis calls the veiled statue Clarity Control. For those of you that don't know, clarity can be one of 2 things, and that is the darkness or the effects that the darkness causes. And clarity can make people go insane. The darkness can make people go insane. You can see this whenever Clovis starts to talk about the K1 anomaly. This is important because he calls the statue Clarity Control, which means it controls the darkness. Now, what about the moon statue though? It gave Eris the ability to use the darkness. More importantly, it told her how to use stasis. It's almost like these statues are sort of conduits to use the darkness, kind of like the Cruxes are in Beyond Light. And as for the third statue, the Vex are using it in the garden to channel powers of the darkness. And that leads me to 2 possible paths that Destiny could take. And I have some theories for both. Path number 1 starts with the title of the expansion, Lightfall. Okay, work with me here. I know we're not losing the light because we got reworks for the light, and it really doesn't make sense for Bungie to put in so much work and then for them to just take it away. Something of light has to fall, and that's going to be the Traveler. Something has to still tie us to the light, and I think one of these statues is the key. Because remember, the Traveler isn't the light. It doesn't hold the light inside of it. It does hold light, but it doesn't hold the light. The light is basically the Force from Star Wars. It's all around us, and everything in the universe has a little bit of it. The Traveler just has a bunch of it inside of it, and it's also a conduit for the light. So one of these statues can possibly be a conduit for the light, and we may not need the Traveler anymore. But what if this statue is somehow better than the rest of them? What if this statue has no allegiance to the light or to the dark, and it can be used to pull more darkness from another dimension? What if this is the key to not only beating the Witness, as it was referred to in that first image that I showed you, but it is also the key to defeating the Traveler? Because these veiled statues are really strong somehow, and if you don't believe me, here is Clovis talking about Clarity Control.
Made possible by Clarity Control. Magnificent, wasn't it? An entity from beyond our own dimension. And the answer to humanity's eternal struggle. Mortality. Were it to fall into the wrong hands, humanity and the universe would be utterly doomed.
Yeah, now that you have more context about the veil, that line hits different. And that, Guardians, is what leads me to my second branching off theory. What if the veil isn't another statue that is more powerful than the others? What if the veil is an entity like Clovis said? I know that Rasputin called it an object, but what if it isn't exactly sentient? What if it can be controlled to do whatever either the light or the dark want it to do? So in Lightfall, the Guardians want the veil to control the light, but the Witness wants it to defeat the Traveler, and trust me, the Traveler will be defeated. Have a listen.
A city besieged. The ship stealer revived. The Leviathan reborn. Your traveler infected by darkness.
Everything that Vox Obscura mission predicted has come true, except for the last one. And I have a feeling that we're going to see that come Lightfall. One more big reason why I think the Witness wants the Veil is because even though it's no longer the name of the Darkness race, I still think that it can create those Darkness warriors. Or maybe I shouldn't call them that. Maybe I should call them what they're named in the game: Tormentors, light stealing creatures. Going back to that interactive video thing, it shows us this picture right here. Previously, the only known member of the Witness's forces was the disciple Rolk. Now, Soul faces invasion, not only by Callus's Shadow Legion, but also from a new enemy known as the Tormentors. Fearsome warriors who wield scythe-like weapons and employ the light-suppressing powers to best the strongest guardians. Now, isn't it weird that the Tormentors have a scythe? Where have we seen a scythe before?
It is time. Light and dark align, turning into a burning recollection of terror. Seize that power and become a reaper of nightmares.
That scythe is the combination of light and dark. Keep that in mind for a second. Let me read you the rest of this page. We know the Witness studies power and repurposes it for its own ends. From what terrible source are these Tormentors born? Whatever the Veil is can be used as a conduit for both light and dark. And I think the Witness is going to use it to create an army of Tormentors of this pseudo-darkness race. Or maybe he's not creating them, but instead he's using the Veil to pull the Tormentors from somewhere, from another dimension outside of time and space. Now, I know that sounds familiar to you, because what has to do with time in the Destiny universe? The Vex. What did Clarity Control help Clovis do? It helped him create Exos from the Vex. And the Vex are also present in Neomuna. Somehow the Vex are related to the Veil. And what has Bungie said about our new raid? Buried from an unknown time and place, a haunting presence has been detected. We must now confront an ancient threat growing at our doorstep. I'm thinking the Witness uses the Veil to take out the Traveler, to open a portal to another dimension. Maybe that dimension is where the Gardener and the Winnower exist, and it's pulling something from there to finish us off. So the Veil is some sort of entity or object with immense paracausal power that can control the light or the dark. And the Witness will use this object to also open a portal or a window into another dimension, perhaps the same dimension that the Gardener and the Winnower are from. And he's going to pull not only these Tormentors, but he will eventually pull some sort of ancient evil that we will have to fight in the raid. And that, Guardians, is my first ever lore video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's probably all over the place. It's very like red string theory on the corkboard. I sound crazy, but I know I'm right. I'm on to something. This isn't my usual content, but like I said, I really like Destiny 2 lore, and this is the first time that I have put together a theory without the help of like other lore videos from either Mylan or Bife or anybody in between. This was just me going crazy after hearing the veil said by Rasputin, and like I said, it sent me into a giant rabbit hole. I haven't stopped thinking about it, and I had to just put it onto paper, or in this case, put it in a video. And by all means, feel free to disprove me on any part of my theory. I am really curious to hear what you have to say about it, and if you have any theories of your own or you want to build upon my theory, leave that all in the comments down below. And please let me know if you want me to make more lore videos. If you like my chaotic approach to them, just let me know, because I would love to make more. Thank you again for watching my first ever lore video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me, like the videos popping up in your end card now. And as always, stay beautiful.